What?
Shut up, you're wasting time. You could have had your lips attached to mine.
Hello, my fellow grounder pounders. I'm joined here by my girlfriend,
Hello.
and we're going to be looking at kingdoms and castles. I think I'm going to put like some, footage on the sides because for some reason it shrunk down the screen. I don't know why.
Hmm.
I didn't even notice that it maybe have recorded this way or whatever. But anyway, this is Kingdoms and Castles, and it's a city building game.
Hmm.
And it looks adorable. I think it's like a voxel way. So what that means is instead of pixels,
Mm-hmm.
they're cubes basically. That's
Oh,
the
okay.
difference, okay? And it really creates it's like the Minecraft aesthetic, but it really creates this beautiful thing. I only remember it being popularized.
Did you build everything that's on there now? Like, did it come kind of blank and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
built?
So look,
Okay.
you can kind of see what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like templates. So yeah, again, I gotta really start from the ground up. Is this like the first city building game I've showed you?
I don't think so.
Yeah. But the deal with this is there's resources that these guys need, and and then there's farms. So do you see all the
Mm.
green
Yeah.
patches? Those are very fertile lands for farms. So if you build farms there, then if you build a windmill in the middle of the farms, it increases their production by
Mm-hmm.
10% or some, something. And then if you make a pub, it needs to be near houses so that the residents have something to do in the evening. If you make a library, it has to be in a certain radius of the building for it to count. If you make a greenery, that's so that they can store the food. The game has some really like blatant flaws in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it looks beautiful.
Oh, it's a carnival.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so cool. Look at it.
Yeah, so it's really satisfying to build. Right there, those are the walls that I'm trying to build.
Uh-huh.
And I think it's a oh my gosh.
Why are you building walls?
Because there's little evil jerk dudes. There's
Oh.
Vikings and dragons and trolls that come
Oh,
around,
okay.
and they just literally make the game unfun. That's their job. And it's not really as much of a challenge because I have like 484 people, and this is
Mm-hmm.
what I was saying. Like, the game has some like really big flaws for a game that's been out for like a few months or a year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought I could cheese the game if I put a granary. They kept whining about not having enough food storage,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, okay, I'll just put two granaries over here in this corner. Because I didn't want a granary in this area next to the library or something. I was trying to
Mm-hmm.
maximize space. Well, my food storage went up, but little did I know, because I haven't played this game much. They weren't actually able to go in between the houses to get it. I was like, they'll figure it out.
Hmm.
But they couldn't go in the houses, but my granary storage went up.
Hmm.
So for a while I was just like, why aren't they going there? And then I realized, oh, they actually do need roads. I thought it was just aesthetics.
Oh,
But
okay.
they actually do need roads to everything.
Okay.
But because I didn't do that, I have an incredibly efficient village. I'm sure if somebody's played this game more, that they can build a better one. But to me, my first, second time building a village, I think it's actually phenomenal. And then there's some flaws. So there, there's these little festival things that you can get, these town squares,
Mm-hmm.
while Vikings are attacking and just being lighting stuff on fire and just creating a chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I start a festival.
Oh my God, is that all little people running
Yeah,
around?
yeah, that's
Oh my God, that's so cool.
yeah, yeah. No, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
That is so funny. It looks like an ant farm.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Um, And you tell them to chop down trees, and I put hunters forests all over the place. But see, those are my two granaries right here, and nobody
Mm-hmm.
can get to them. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I thought, what does it matter? And then only after a while did I realize, oh, they literally can't
Mm-hmm.
get to the doors. But they're so tiny, I figured they'd figure it out.
Can you rectify that? Can you fix it?
Yeah, I've just got to destroy them and build them elsewhere. But it's
Oh,
less efficient because every
okay.
single square of that space has a building, as you can see.
Right, right.
And that's what I was going for. I was going for like a
City.
Boston, New York
Yeah,
sort of. Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Um,
I know there is not 1 inch. And when I went into Boston recently, it is, and the buildings are so high, but there's not an inch between anything.
yeah, so that's what I wanted because it was, I was like, I'm starting a new town. This is how it's going to be. And, things don't make sense. Like, why would I put this here?
Hmm.
But every resource pretty much has another resource there, except for the blacksmith. You're going to see me trying to figure stuff out and stuff.
Hmm.
But,
How do you get your resources? Like, how do you earn things?
well, yeah, you need wood for a lot, so you just got to build a logger's cabin or whatever it's called
Hmm.
near some trees. And then you've got to build, a quarry near usable stone
Hmm.
to get stone. And then iron, which does like literally one thing. Except you don't really use iron to like upgrade your houses even more.
Hmm.
Like, there's so here's my point. So when the Vikings attack, I throw a festival so that more people come and visit my town as the Vikings are attacking. The game doesn't realize that the Vikings are attacking, and as the Vikings are defeating people, more people join during the attack. So it's like that's a pretty big flaw that nobody's noticed but me, I guess,
So wouldn't more
in
people get
development.
hurt if the Vikings are? If...
Who cares? I mean, honestly, I'm just trying to keep my town alive.
Okay.
So like here's the deal. My town your town lives on a very delicate balance
Hmm.
of everybody needs coal, everybody needs stone, everybody needs wood,
Hmm.
everybody needs food. So if there's 300 farmers, you better have 300 farmers the entire time.
Mm, okay.
And that's where things fall short. Is like that's how things can go. That's how the Vikings can screw it up. But as they were gone, I was like, what's stopping me from having a festival right now and getting a bunch of people to come visit and go, this town's great, as Vikings
Oh my
are
God.
running around. So I was like, that's a bit like, you know me, I cheese games and
Hmm.
like I see what's going on. Like I really dig deep into them, and sometimes, and I was
What's the white?
Oh, that's the boundary I can build inside. You can't build anywhere. You can only build near roads. So
Also,
I've
it's
got to,
like a template for it.
yeah, I've got to civilize the area. So if
Okay.
a road is like civilizing the area.
Okay.
And then another thing that I thought was weird was, oh, who knows? Whatever. Those were two things, and I was like, I don't know. You just find it weird when games have been out for so long and they've still got flaws like
Right.
that are this kind of big. That
Oh, is
like
it snowing?
yeah, and this is where the tricky part is. The game is beautiful,
Mm.
so I think lots of people get lost in the fact that it's so cute and so
Yeah.
pretty. Um,
Wow, I wish our winters were that fast. Does
yeah,
it just like change or like
it's
randomly?
we've had a bunch of years. You can see the years fly by. It's year 62, so like a minute to them is like a season or something.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, this is just going to be footage of me building a nice castle. And it's just a relaxing little video. Yeah.
So that's all water,
Huh?
right?
The blue stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what I'm just saying, are there any boats or ports or fishing?
You can do a little bit of ports, but there wasn't a lot of point for me to do ports because I mean, I'm not even sure how they work really, but
Mm,
it seems like you can just trade between your town. And
mm.
I created a self-sufficient town, so there was no reason for me to trade with other civilizations.
Oh, okay.
Like, 'cause, like I could have, here's food, give me coal. But there was no reason for me to, 'cause
Look at this. That is really cute.
it's not a Ferris
Yeah, it is.
wheel. No,
What is it?
it's a water wheel or whatever.
Oh, it looks like a Ferris wheel. Well, you said you had a festival, and I said it before.
I know, and I
I
was gonna
said you're
correct
having a
it.
carnival, and you go, yeah, whatever.
I was trying to say one thing, and you got me off track like 80 times. But
Oh, that's not as much fun.
no, no, no.
It's still kind of cool, but
So yeah, you can build archers towers on those blocks, and right now, I was playing with my relatives, and for a while, but during this game, they actually said, Joseph, can we please play something else? And I was like, what? What's the matter? Because I thought they would love this. It's so cute and adorable. And they went, we've gotten to a point where, and I was kind of really like proud of them that they were like critically thinking and stuff.
mm-hmm.
And they're like, well, it was fun in the beginning when we were unlocking stuff and upgrading stuff,
Mm.
but like we're pretty much done. This is what
Oh
they
my
said. And I was like, oh my God, I love you. Um,
God.
and I said, too bad. And well, we're doing this for 5 more minutes because I wanted to, wrap it up, and then we
Mm-hmm.
did whatever. But and then after they left or whatever, I played this game for a little bit longer. But you organize there's a task list,
Mm-hmm.
builders. See, it's already year 64.
Jeez.
There's a task list, like if you want more builders, if you want more farmers and bakers and all this fun stuff.
What is the point of time going by so fast?
Uh, it's honestly, it's just the way some games work. Like I was watching this new game called Frostpunk,
Mm-hmm.
and it's this city builder, but you're in like this post-apocalyptic frost like world,
Mm-hmm.
and days it's measured by days,
Mm-hmm.
and then civilization, those games, which is another like kind of city
Mm-hmm.
builder, more of like you know a light strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyway, blah blah blah. So that goes by in turns, and that goes in a really weird way
Mm-hmm.
because time goes so quick in that one. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just the game's own
Right.
language. That's why I always say that. So yeah, like I think this is a super efficient town, and the fact that the storage goes up even though they can't reach it
Yeah, that
is
is kind
kind
of.
of, how does this happen? I mean, just John Krasinski, call me before you make a movie. Video game developers, let me sit down with you for a few minutes. you know, just like I'll be the closer or
Yeah.
whatever. Um, but yeah. So speaking of that, I have some interesting things to tell you. I visited more relatives this weekend.
Oh, you did.
Yes, yes. And what happened was I was watching two younger children, and I told them to go play outside while I ate or whatever, and and then I saw them arguing or whatever, and I stuck my head out and I said, I'm gonna sick the dog on whichever one's wrong. If you don't settle it yourself pretty quick. And then of course I accidentally let the dog go out, and I said, get the one that's being crazy and bad. Get him, get him. Eat him. Um, and then the dog went out there, and I closed it, and I heard them laughing, going, he doesn't even know Stella just licked us.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
so
so
cute.
like, like wow, my plan failed. Um, so then I walk in,
That's adorable.
yeah,
Yeah.
and their parents are there, and they go, "You should just let them settle this on their own." I'm like, I obviously did. I didn't put the dog in charge. Um, just so you know, that was a joke. And they start telling me about this new thing that they want to try, which is German parenting.
Oh God, it's not like free range parenting, is it?
So how this got brought up, because I asked this, I was like, this is pretty random. Like, why are you talking about German parenting all of a sudden? And apparently, what started this? Now, when you hear this story, you wouldn't think, now there's a way to raise my children. But they read this article, and lo and behold, they thought, there's a way to raise my
That's good
children.
research.
And the article was, wait for it, uh, a little 5-year-old rode the subway, New York City subway train home by him or herself.
Sounds like a plan.
And that is like the most dangerous and irresponsible thing you could pretty much do. Um, I mean, anything could have happened. And they heard that, and then they were like, yeah, but it really teaches independence, and they're gonna grow up. And
And anxiety and
that's what I
insecurity.
was thinking.
Because they
Yeah,
can't
and
critically really think at 5 to make decisions for their safety.
a plethora of other mental and then they started doing research on, yeah, apparently in Germany a bunch of 4 and 5-year-olds just walk home by themselves after preschool and kindergarten. And again, I was thinking, and then he goes, and what that teaches is it teaches independence. And those people, when they're growing up, they know what they know what to do, and they know how to do it themselves. Because when you're 5, you gotta figure it out. Like,
Oh my
oh,
God, help us.
like, listen, I'm not gonna disrespect Germany if that's what they've been doing for years. That is not where we grew up, and that's not how we do stuff.
Right. And it's not the world we're living in.
No, it is not. And the fact that,
It's a little late in the game to change parenting styles, isn't it?
yeah,
It's not like you don't have kids, but like when they're already like, you know,
a
at,
decade's gone by.
yeah, and you're like, let's do the, it's just.
Yeah, well, so I'm like, yeah, but what about mentally? Because
Emotionally.
emotionally, again,
Yeah.
excellent points, and they just weren't having it, and I was like, okay, this is a little bit, you know, and then so they're like, that's what we're gonna be focusing on, independence, let them figure it out on their own. I'm like, okay, cool, because again,
I'm all for non-hovering parents. This new trend of the helicopter, whatever.
I don't know
Um,
what that is. What is
I don't know. Like, isn't that like when they're hovering over, like, instead of letting them figure things out?
it?
But, you don't send them out in the world at 5, but you sort of step back and let them think that they're kind of figuring things out. But
I agree.
you have
Yeah.
to have a supportive net around that. And I just find it a little funny that, you know, making parenting, choices when you've already been parenting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like all of a sudden it's like, okay, you know what? You had it easy. Go get a
Yeah.
job.
I know. I know.
You're 8. Stop slacking.
Yeah. That's exactly
Yeah.
that is exactly what's happened. And so what I don't get is the train of thinking.
Mm.
Somebody read that article and went, okay, this is obviously wrong. However, we can use something here. What? But whatever. So after that, we all went out and we went out to do something, and we went to go to the one of the people that pioneered this German parenting idea. Was like, let's go to Olive Garden, and whatever. I couldn't have cared less, you know. Being pretty laid back and like, whatever, sure, all
Yeah.
right, if that's what you guys want to do. And we go to Olive Garden. It was probably the worst Olive Garden experience ever.
I've never been.
I haven't been there in at least 8 years, and they haven't changed at all. Like you'd think with like this, there's nothing for me in you to eat there.
Yeah.
Literally.
Well, that's what I kind of figured. They always say like bread and pasta, and it's like,
We walk in and a sign said, now even bigger portions.
oh, perfect.
I was
Because we're,
like, that's not why. Because
because that's a concern. We're very underfed in
I
this country.
know, I know. But like people weren't walking away because the portions were so small from Olive Garden. I mean, so and the waitress was one of the worst waitresses ever.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh
she
man.
she was this cranky old
Oh,
lady,
I'm
and
usually very supportive of waitresses, you know, but like every once in
she
a
was
while, like, why
so
are you doing this?
she was she so I asked her for like an extra thing of like marinara after my food was brought. I had to order an appetizer because it was the only thing that I could eat on the menu.
Oh my God.
I'm not kidding.
What'd you
Even
have?
luckily I eat fish. I had calamari.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a calamari appetizer. Because everything else was like, if you want some vegetables, it comes layered in chicken and cheese.
Yeah.
and, and they had shrimp scampi in three different places on the menu. So it was
Mm.
like under seafood, it was under pasta, and I was like, this menu is all like the same 5 items. Just
Surprise.
yeah, in different places on the menu, and sometimes with or without chicken. um, So yeah, I was like really surprised that they were so behind the times.
Yeah.
Like they were really, if you walked in there, you would have thought that their president of the corporation was like, you know, anti-vegan or anti-vegetarian or
Well, it's
something.
really hard to find stuff like in
No,
general.
it there was normally you can just compromise and get something.
Right.
There was nothing
Wow.
on this.
Hmm.
I read the menu for 20 minutes looking for, okay, maybe this. No, no. And then I wanted a dessert, so I thought I'd get a coffee or something, you know? They don't have almond milk they don't have like anything. Like, I
No,
was like, okay,
a lot of
forget it.
places don't. It's like really, it is challenging, doable, but challenging.
You know, it's like, I'm not having black coffee. That's like, I can't drink it. I tried. I tried.
I'm doing it now.
No, you aren't.
Swear. And you know what? I'm treating it like dark chocolate. You can't drink it for the taste of the milk
Forget that.
or
They
yeah.
forget that.
No, it's like you savor the sips and you let, but it has to be good coffee.
So I asked for more marinara, and I said, could I please have some more marinara? Um, that's how she responded to me. And then
You demanding person, yeah.
she came back with a little cup of marinara, and I said, oh, much. And she was, anything else? Like she was like really pissed, and I was like, no, not right now, thank you. And she went, mm-hmm, and then
Oh
walked
my
away.
God.
And I looked around at the table to see if anybody else was like, what's with her? But everybody else just, was eating their stuff and fine. The food took forever. Um, we were there for 2 hours. Um, I think they didn't. So when we sat down, the waitress didn't come over for 15 minutes. Other people sat down around us and were given drinks before she even came to say hi. And like their orders were taken and everything. She comes, she goes, do you guys need a minute? And I was like, no, you know. And so she takes our drinks, and then 15 minutes later she came back with our drinks, and doesn't even attempt. She just hands them all to me, and just says, "This is the Diet Coke. Like I'll figure it out." Like I've never seen that, you know.
You were like her assistant.
It really makes you like appreciate all of the really good waiters and waitresses
Which
because this.
mostly they are.
But
And
how in the world did this lady?
I don't know. I'm
do
always
this job for this
I'm
long.
always fascinated by people who work with the public and don't like the public. I mean, you have to have some sort of tolerance, I guess,
Yeah,
or I don't know, but like some people, you just wonder why they're doing it. But I normally completely support waitresses because they work hard, you know.
yeah. But yeah, like at my job, I've just pretty much given up the whole supervisor
Hmm.
thing. Cause
But you still excel. That's the thing.
yeah, I'm still doing an amazing job,
Yeah, you do.
but they do keep me off the register because they think like I'm a loose cannon. I've just said some things that they're like, you can't say that, and I'm like, it was pretty funny. Like, that's not what we're going for here. All right, you're gonna miss some. You're gonna miss some zingers. But well, like one guy, I was just teasing him because he said it's my wife's, and I was just pretending like, okay, sure, buddy. Like you don't have a wife, you know. Oh, and here are the Vikings and the trolls and all that stuff.
Uh-oh. So do you have any warning they're coming?
Mm, they're
Jeez, there's a
here.
lot
It's
of them.
well, that's the game. Like
So how do you
ask.
get rid of them?
Well, you can fire arrows and stuff, but they kind of just ruin your town, and then you spend
Oh,
20 minutes fixing it, and at some point you're just like,
oh.
what am I doing?
I mean, seriously, they
I
can
spent.
come in and just ruin everything.
They're like angry toddlers.
I know they even walk
Yeah,
like
and
diaper babies.
yeah, and so these diaper babies just destroy your town like a little kid would,
So
that's jealous.
can you, like you said, you can shoot them, but
Though my archer towers are doing a lot of damage, but you know, there's like 8 or 9 of them, so I mean,
gee,
there's no hope.
that's
But
very discouraging. Like if I built all that and they just came in 3 seconds and like boom.
I'm gonna show you a clip at the end. The game literally asks me to stop playing. In a way, it sends so many enemies at me that the game's just like, get out
Oh,
of here.
oh
Start a new game.
they they just probably figured by now you would have
By
given
now,
up.
listen,
You're like,
if the
no.
kids is left, if even a child who's like amazed and fascinated by everything
Yeah.
has gone by now, Joseph, get a hint, start the game over or don't play. Because they sent literally ship after ship. The game nearly crashes every single time somebody sends.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Are they setting fires?
Yep, yep, that's also what they do.
Wow.
And this is how I eventually come up with the idea of doing a festival during this time, because then my population is always
Oh my
kept at
God, that's
max.
so funny.
What a
That's no
what a
one would
flaw.
who would think of that?
Um,
That's funny.
I can't believe nobody's patched that or something, because I'm not the first person that comes to these games and thinks these things. I can't be, but
Hmm.
whatever. So yeah, and then what other customer did I make fun of? Oh, I can't really tell that story. Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about, right?
No, I'm just
Yeah.
thinking of you in general.
Thanks. Yeah, I have been kind of telling people like, yeah, I can't say you're welcome. Apparently it's rude, right? Yeah.
I don't understand why you can't say you're welcome. That's so silly.
Well, what ends up happening is it just sounds like I don't. It just encourages me to tune everybody out, and I tell this to people, the upper people in charge, and they're like, well, actually, it does this, and I was like, most often when I'm doing the real job, like, oh yeah, me and the managers get along real well. But yeah, they were here for like a year, the Vikings, just ruining our lives. And
That's
then they
terrible.
just leave, and now you just get to rebuild everything. And there's not like a button like rebuild. You have to slowly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's again, it's really weird. Like the game's just kind of, and I get it. There's got to be some challenge, but it's more of a nuisance rather than a
Hmm.
challenge because challenges are challenging,
Right.
and this is just kind of a time waster. But I had a lot of fun with this for a little bit.
Well, good.
But I wouldn't really recommend it, and
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna title this "I Hate a Quiet Place." Still, just to put the word out there. I really want the like, it's my civic
I
duty.
think it's time to move on.
I don't know. I don't
I do.
think so.
I think it's time to move on.
So yeah, the waitress, she was really terrible, and that she just didn't come. She also brought our food back and went to her other table and said, "I can't get your drinks right now." And she pointed at the food that she was carrying, and then she pointed at us like, "They're taking up all my time." I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. And I'm watching this and I'm like, really? I happen to be interpreting this wrong, right? So she comes over and she goes, "Here's all your food," and gives us all our food. She doesn't give one of the people his food. So it's like, once, and then she leaves, and I think, okay, she's gonna be right back. She doesn't come back
Oh my
for his
God.
food, and again, you try not to be rude because you think they do this job for a living.
Mm-hmm.
Don't order them around. They know the deal,
Right.
And instead, she just doesn't come back, and I was like, so I had to flag other people down.
Oh.
Everybody else in Olive Garden had like this happy, their waiter or waitress's name was like Chip Skylark, and he was just a happy, really? I can get that for you in a jiffy. Like it was.
Do they have fake names?
No, they didn't have fake names,
Oh.
but oh my God.
I thought that was part of the shtick there.
No,
I've
there's
never
no
been.
shtick there. The shtick there is that you can wear jeans or make it the fanciest restaurant possible. So there was literally people in suits and like Indian shawls and stuff.
Yeah.
And then there was me in like jeans and a t-shirt because I had no idea. And then there were other people in jeans, a t-shirt, and hats even.
Mm.
So like it's really like be whatever. But
Yeah.
again, I wouldn't recommend it. It was a terrible experience, and I didn't like the food. So
Well, it's also, you didn't have a lot to pick from either.
yeah,
Because I know people who like it, but they really love pasta and bread.
again, do you want to know what the parents said?
What?
The parents of these children? They said, "Well, I can get why people." And I said, "I can't believe how behind the time these Olive Garden people are. That there's not one accommodation. There was one vegan option, for the make your own pasta." And I was like, "But it has cheese." And then she goes, "Oh wait, it's vegetarian." I was like, "But it was just a pasta." How did you think? Whatever. Um, uh, I had to have a lot of coffee, so my brain's all over the place.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, I have a question.
yeah.
So if you can't say you're welcome, if I said to you, or if I went to there and I said, "Oh, thank you," what do you say?
Thank you.
Oh my God, that's so stupid.
Yeah, I know And then I was talking to this one lady, and she goes, "Thank you." And I said, "Yeah, it's incredibly redundant, but it's what I get paid for. Not much though." And she goes, "No way." And I said, "Yeah, apparently your welcome is rude." I said that in the beginning, and that was a big no-no, you know. And she's like, "That's just silly." And I said, "Yeah, it just causes me to space out and not pay attention because I got to say the same three words every day." And then like I pointed to the line behind her, and I was like, I gotta just illustrating that I'm gonna say the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Um, and that it's already a tough job.
Yeah.
But yeah, and since I've yeah, I think they've been keeping me off the register though lately, which is great. But because like they consider me a loose cannon. Like they're like, he's divulging company secrets, saying we can't say thank you. We gotta get this guy away. But what was I gonna say about the food?
I don't know. I was really wondering about that, but you were talking about the food, and then you said, "Oh, what did we gonna talk about with the
Yeah.
parents?"
Oh
Or
yeah, yeah,
whatever?
yeah. They said, well, I kind of understand why people would still come to Olive Garden, because you know what you're gonna get. And I said, for the past 8 years, it's been the same 3 items in the same 3 different places. And like, people like that. They come in here and they know what they're gonna get. Like, oh, what? And of course, coming from the person who orders chicken parmesan at every place we go to, like, that's not fun or comforting to me.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so whatever. I just, yeah. Yeah, so and then another time, something was happening, and they were like they were like German, like we're gonna try the German parenting seriously, okay? So let's just see if they can figure this out on their own. I'm like, this is so dumb.
Oh my God.
I mean, they got the idea from a news article about how terrible it was. Yeah, we'll use anti-logic to raise our children.
Yeah. Who needs common sense?
Yeah. Um, Yeah, we briefly read an article online,
We're
and I'm
prepared.
part German. Combine those two things, and you've got a new philosophy on life. Yeah,
It just cracks me up.
yeah. I was gonna tell a story about work, but it's really not appropriate.
Oh.
It was that story. Remember that another time. Well, so now what really sucks about this job is I'm doing the supervisor stuff and the cashier stuff.
Right.
So it's like a lot to juggle.
Yeah, that's a ton.
It's
more like manager
I also learned
responsibilities.
that the cashiers are just supposed to cashier, but apparently this store makes them do supervisor jobs too. So I'm like, how? And then, so what happens is the cashiers are doing a little bit of the supervisor jobs, so the supervisors are doing a lot of the manager jobs. That's what's going on. I also figured out why they stopped scheduling me at work a little bit. This guy said, this guy who's worked there since he was, that grew was jealous of me because I started working there and he immediately got offered a promotion or whatever, and he hasn't.
Mm.
He told the boss that he was the one doing everything that I did during my shift.
Oh, that's
So,
sad.
so I do all this work,
Right.
and he was just taking credit for it. And what happened was when they stopped scheduling me, none of it got done, or it was done terribly. And then they're like, "What's going on?" And slowly, other people went, "Yeah, well, you stopped scheduling the guy who does this entire store." And then all of a sudden I was able to get more hours very easily and the
Yeah.
schedule wasn't so cramped up and I was like, that's fine. And then oh, okay, but I'm getting to leave this job, so that's cool. Very
That's
cool.
really cool.
And I'm going out with style. And here's where the game just tells me to stop playing. Look at all these Vikings coming.
Oh my God.
My computer I was playing on a laptop. That's probably
Right.
why it's a little bit fuzzy or whatever. But those are all the ships in the background. Do you see
Oh
them?
my God.
You can't really see them that well because of the
They're
fog
like
and
he
stuff.
won't get the hint.
On year like 100 or something, look how they just don't stop coming. Look at all these. Look,
Oh
I zoomed out to show you how many ships are here.
Oh my God.
Do you see? It can't process. It can't. The game literally almost crashes because
That's really funny.
the game's like, get out of here. You're done.
Oh my God.
So, I don't recommend this game.
I guess not.
But that's why I wanted to play it because it's beautiful to watch and it's beautiful to enjoy. And I hope everybody did, as we complained about Olive Garden. And A Quiet Place, which will be the title of this video.
Let it go. Let it go.
Alright. Thank you so much for listening. Is there anything you want to wrap up with?
Well, if you like it, hit the like button and subscribe, share it. We really hope it's helping people like it helps us, and that's why we're doing it.
I've got a fantastic game planned for next time.
Oh, exciting.
A fantastic game. Really exciting.
Good. I'm excited.
I hope this game was cutesy and everybody enjoyed it. Goodbye. Thank you. Good night.
Okay. Good night.